Hello and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS, presenting to you the daily quiz for 3rd of May 2022. Before we begin, let me remind you to set the reminder for the upcoming Target Prelims 2022 Crash Course lecture. In tomorrow's Crash Course, Chetan sir will discuss the MCQs and topics from international relations which are most important for your upcoming prelims exam. To revise all the topics of last 1 year as well as key topics from 2020 and 21 related to international relations, watch the crash course by your favorite faculty Chetan sir at 7:30 p.m. tomorrow, that is 4th of May. Do set a reminder to be notified when the video goes live, and the link for International Relations Lecture 1 is in the description box below. Now let us begin and take up the first question for today. The PK2 molecule recently in news is associated with the treatment for option A cancer, option B HIV AIDS, option C diabetes, option D COVID-19. What is the context? This article in the Indian Express newspaper today talks about a new drug molecule called PK2 molecule. According to the research, PK2 is able to trigger the release of insulin by pancreas, and therefore this can potentially be used as an orally administered medicine for diabetes. The researchers found that PK2 molecule was rapidly absorbed by the gastrointestinal tract, which means that it can be used as an oral medication rather than injection. Therefore, the right answer to our question would be option C, diabetes. Moving on to question number 2. The public institution Anubhava Mantapa, or the Hall of Spiritual Experience, was introduced by which of the following Vachanakaras? Option A, Basaveshwara, option B, Alama Prabhu, option C, Akka Mahadevi, option D, Jedara Dasimaya. Why have we taken this question? On account of Basava Jayanti, that is the birth anniversary of 12th century poet philosopher Basaveshwara, popularly known as Basavanna, there is a reference to this Vachanakara in the Hindu newspaper today, and that is exactly why we've taken up this question. Now let us know more about this Vachanakara, that is Basaveshwara or Basavanna. Basaveshwara was born in Bagewadi of the undivided Bijapur district in Karnataka. As we already discussed, he's a 12th century philosopher, statesman, Kannada poet and a social reformer during the reign of Kalachure dynasty king Bijjala I in Karnataka. And this great personality spread social awareness through his vachanas. He championed devotional worship that rejected temple worship. And according to the Veerashaiva tradition, Basavanna is said to have developed a deep devotion towards Lord Shiva, that is Kudala Sangama, or the Lord of Meeting Rivers. So it was Basavanna who established the Anubhava Mantapa, which was a common forum established for all to discuss the prevailing problems of socio-economic and political areas. So this Anubhava Mantapa, or the Hall of Spiritual Experience, welcomed men as well as women from all socio-economic backgrounds so that they could discuss spiritual as well as mundane questions of life in open. Therefore, the right answer to our question would be option A, Basaveshwara. Moving on to question number 3. Which of the following is or are correctly matched? Here are the archaeological sites and the states. Number 1, Rakhigari, Rajasthan. Number 2, Sivasagar, Arunachal Pradesh. Number 3, Dholavira, Gujarat. Number 4, Adichanallur, Telangana. Why this question? According to this PIB article, the Ministry of Ayush has organized a Yoga Utsav at the iconic holy site of Shivdol at Sivasagar in Assam. See, Sivasagar is a district in the state of Assam that is located on the upper Brahmaputra valley. And this is known for its historic monuments as well as temples that were built during the reign of Ahom dynasty. Right? And Sivasagar has been selected for the Yoga Utsav because the Prime Minister had unveiled a plan to develop 5 archaeological sites into iconic sites across India. And these were Rakhigari in Haryana, Hastinapur in Uttar Pradesh, Sivasagar in Assam, Dholavira in Gujarat and Adichanallur in Tamil Nadu. Now coming back to our question. See, Rakhigari is the largest Harappan site and it is in Haryana. So number 1 becomes incorrect. Sivasagar is in Assam as we just discussed. So number 2 is also incorrect. Dholavira is the southern center of Harappan civilization and this is in Gujarat. So 3 becomes correct. The last pair here, that is Adichanallur, is not in Telangana but is in Tamil Nadu. Therefore, the right answer to our question would be option D, 3 only. Here's a task for you for today. The task is to let me know which among these are UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Let me know in the comment section below. Moving on to question number 4. Which of the given statements with respect to green hydrogen is or are incorrect? Number 1. Hydrogen is labeled green hydrogen when the carbon emission generated from the production process is captured and stored. Number 2. Steam reforming is the process followed for its production. Number 3. Green hydrogen production is the cleanest form of hydrogen generation since the byproducts are just water and water vapor. What is the context? According to this PIB article today, the Union Minister for Power and New and Renewable Energy and the German Minister for Economic Affairs and Climate Change recently signed a joint declaration of intent on Indo-German Hydrogen Task Force. And it is in this background that we've taken up this question for discussion. See, India and Germany share the goal of decarbonizing their respective economies, and both these countries have committed themselves to develop a national green hydrogen economy. And the common long-term goal is to reduce emissions and protect the environment. And also note that India aims to make itself a global hub for green hydrogen production as well as export. Now here you may ask me, what exactly is green hydrogen? See, hydrogen when produced by electrolysis by using renewable energy is known as green hydrogen. What happens in this process is the green hydrogen gas is produced by splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen using an electrolyzer. And the electricity provided to this electrolyzer is through renewable energy sources such as solar energy or wind energy. Therefore, this helps significantly reducing the carbon footprint. So this electrolysis process is the cleanest form of hydrogen generation. Why? Because the byproducts are just water and water vapor. Now coming back to our question. Statement 1 is wrong because this is describing blue hydrogen production process where emissions generated from the process are captured and stored. So this becomes incorrect. Statement number 2 is also incorrect because as we discussed, green hydrogen production process is called as electrolysis and not steam reforming. Grey hydrogen is produced through steam reforming. So statement number 2 is incorrect. Now statement number 3, as we already have discussed, is correct. Therefore, the right answer to our question would be option C, 1 and 2 only because the question is asking us for incorrect statements. Now let us take up a previous year question from Prelims paper 2014. With reference to two non-conventional energy sources called coal bed methane and shale gas, consider the following statements. Number 1. Coal bed methane is the pure methane gas extracted from coal seams, while shale gas is a mixture of propane and butane only that can be extracted from the fine-grained sedimentary rocks. Number 2. In India, abundant coal bed methane sources exist, but so far no shale gas sources have been found. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? See, when we take a look at the first statement here, the statement says shale gas contains propane and butane only. This part of the statement is incorrect because it also contains methane. So you can easily eliminate option A and option C. Now coming to statement 2. India does have shale gas resources, so statement number 2 becomes incorrect. Therefore, the right answer to our question would be option D, neither 1 nor 2. Now let us take up the fact of the day for today, which is India's Semiconductor Mission. What is the context? This article in the Indian Express newspaper today has a reference to the Semiconductor Mission as described by the Principal Scientific Advisor. Let us learn more about this India Semiconductor Mission. See, India has launched a big program on semiconductor technology and it has set aside rupees 75,000 crore for this. See, India is focusing on developing the whole semiconductor ecosystem, right? So the goal is to help firms invest in semiconductors, display production and the design ecosystem. Because this would ultimately pave a way for India's increasing involvement in global electronics value chains. See, India's Semiconductor Mission was established as an autonomous business division under the Digital India Corporation. This ISM has financial as well as administrative independence to create and push India's long-term plans for developing semiconductor screen manufacturing units as well as semiconductor design environment, right? Now this ISM has four schemes that are a part of it. Let us discuss each of these one by one. The first one is the scheme for establishment of semiconductor fabs in India. This scheme gives financial assistance for establishing semiconductor fabs. That is manufacturing plant that makes semiconductor devices. So this is to encourage investments in semiconductor wafer production facilities. The second scheme is the scheme for establishing display fabs in India. And this scheme provides financial assistance for the establishment of display fabs. So under this scheme, financial assistance of up to 50% of the cost of the project up to a maximum of rupees 12,000 crore for each fab is provided. The third one is the scheme for setting up of compound semiconductors or silicon photonics, sensor fab and semiconductor assembly, testing, marketing and packaging or ATMP or OSAT facilities in India. And this scheme offers up to 30% of capital spending for the establishment of compound semiconductors or silicon photonics and also semiconductor ATMPs in India. And the last one is the design linked incentive scheme. So with all these schemes in place, it is believed that India's semiconductor mission will help in catalyzing the fast growing electronics manufacturing and research environment in India. That is all for today. Thank you for being with us. And before we end the session, let me wish you all a very happy Eid. Keep watching and keep learning with us.